So your friend or loved one says they're autistic.
What? No one would make that connection.
Autism, by diagnostic standards, is considered a neurodevelopmental disorder that causes a wide range of impairments in social communication and restricted and repetitive behaviors. That's what the world largely thinks of autism. Maybe somebody you know has given you the link to this video, or maybe you came across it because you genuinely want to know. Did someone you know recently get diagnosed, or have they discovered that they have a lot of autism traits and features and are considering that they are autistic? Are they self-diagnosed?
So as is well known, I am just riddled with ADHD, and I perhaps have a touch of the tism.
In reality, autism is extremely hard to conceptualize for most people who only know certain flavors of autism. There are as many presentations of autism as there are autistic individuals, and how it looks in public or to others will vary greatly. Autism is neurological. That means it's in the brain. It's not a learned behavior, and a person can't develop or catch autism.
How stupid do we look?
If a person is autistic, they've been autistic their whole lives, but they may not have looked like what people believe is autism. It's not a behavioral disorder, meaning you can't learn and behave autism away. But there are numerous articles on what parts of the brain are affected that may be most responsible for autistic traits. Look up the hypothalamus to start, and I've got several videos here on my YouTube channel that talk a lot about that. How many are diagnosed? Autism is highly underdiagnosed, as evidenced by the sheer volume of adults who are now being diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, which is historically, it's been mostly diagnosed only in childhood. In the 1970s and 1980s, it was 1 in 2,500 children who were identified as being autistic. In the year 2000, the numbers changed to 1 in 150, with a ratio of 8 to 1 of boys to girls. As of 2021, the CDC suggests that 1 in 54 children are identified as being autistic. The rate between genders is thought to be 3 boys to 1 girl, and we won't even get into the mess of how off the numbers are for people of color and the LGBTQ+ community. But it's very important that we don't confuse the rate of identification of autism with the actual occurrence of autism. Girls have been overlooked because they present differently than the younger white males, and much of the research has been based on white boys. So if someone is showing this to you, they've likely been one of the people who've been missed by professionals. So what does autism look like? It looks like this, and this, and this, and me, and a million other people. So basically what I'm saying is autism doesn't really have a look. The truth is, if your loved one has recently discovered that they are or may be autistic, chances are good that the people closest to them will often not see the traits and features because they are too close to them. Not only that, but to mom, their daughter has always been like that, and that's just her personality, or their behaviors have been abrasive and dysregulated, or lazy, or any number of things that we slap on them for labels. And they shouldn't try to use autism as their excuse for being rude and inconsiderate.
I think we might have a hustler here.
If these phrases or thoughts sound familiar, know that this is so typical of people who are finding out someone close to them has autism that I actually made a video about it, right here. Oftentimes their presentation doesn't match what you might think about autism, so you'll have to throw out what you've seen on TV about autism and accept that the presentation of your loved one will not be like Sheldon Cooper, or music, or Arnie from What's Eating Gilbert Grape, or The Good Doctor. If you've thought or said, well, if that's autism, then everybody's a little autistic, that also is a common thought. In truth, everyone is not a little autistic. If you're finding that your child is talking about traits that they're calling autistic and you're dismissing them because you have those too, and so do many of your family members, know that autism is thought to be highly hereditary, and some research suggests that it is as high as 87% hereditary, and they still aren't sure about the other 13%. So if autism is passed down through the family genetics, ask yourself who else might be autistic from your family tree. Also, if you're seeing traits and features of autism in yourself, that might be why. If I just hit a nerve and now you're outraged,
I need to go to my quiet place.
please send your hate mail to this address.
6765 Elmwood.
The first step you should take if someone has shown you this video, the first step for you is to believe them. Understand that you may not fully understand what autism is, but be willing to learn. Don't just say it. Don't just thank them for sending you clips, articles, and video links and then skim through them quickly or not at all. They're going to look for signs that you have watched the videos or read the articles. They will look for changes in your behavior on how you treat them and how you interact and respond to their newly recognized autistic behaviors. Really sit down and dedicate some time to this. They are likely hurting, searching for answers, dealing with an identity crisis, and trying to shed some light on the trauma that they've been through because of undiagnosed autism, and possibly living with undiagnosed autistic people. Heck, let's just add ADHD into the mix with all the frustrations and misunderstandings about that as well. So if they've given you resources to look at, take that as a huge plus, a huge advantage. They're basically saying, look, I haven't been able to say what's going on with me, but these people are. They're saying it, and this is me. It makes sense. You have to hear this. This is kind of what they're telling you. So take it seriously. Because if you don't take it seriously beyond that tearful moment you two may have shared, and if you don't learn about what it is they're trying to tell you, that's going to be a sign to them that you don't care and things are going to go on as usual. Even if you do care, it's going to seem like you don't. Or it'll seem that their autism is a burden, an inconvenience, a dirty secret, shameful. Please don't make these mistakes. If you do not take it seriously now, during this very short window of opportunity they've opened up for you to peer into their minds in a way that they have never allowed you to before, they will shut that window of opportunity and it may be gone forever. If this has helped in any way, or even if you hate me now, subscribe anyway, as I will be uploading more short helps for our neurodivergent nation, as well as those who need to know how to do better to support them. This is the Neurodivergent Doctor, and I hope this helps you in your neurodiverse universe.